Welcome back. Sports news now. The World Football Governing Body FIFA has given Nigeria until Monday to resolve the new legal tussle within the Nigeria Football Federation, or this time face a lengthy ban from the body. This recent directive from FIFA is in response to a recent High Court ruling which has invalidated the newly elected board of the NFF led by Mr. Amaju Pinnick. Our next report takes a look at the new crisis in Nigerian football. The drama in the Nigerian Football Federation leadership tussle took a new twist in recent weeks, with two parties at loggerheads over the country's football governing body. Justice Ambrose Alagua of the Federal High Court in Jos had on October 23rd annulled the September 30 NFF election in Warri that brought in Amaju Pinnick's board, thereby restoring power to the Chris Giwa leadership. A legal practitioner, Festus Afeodion, however, picked holes in the court's ruling.
We know that the FIFA and anything that has to do with football and FIFA is regulated by statute. The FIFA has a law that controls it. And so if you have any dispute in football, all you need to go to is to go to the arbitration. It provides for an arbitration. And so if you go to the regular court, ab initio, the court that granted that order has no jurisdiction at all.
This assertion was countered by Mr. Giwa.
There are issues on ground, and I don't want us to cover it up. The case we have in Nigerian court is a case that has nothing to do with FIFA. It is a case that it is between the two of us. It is a case, not between the two of us, it is a family case. Where parties have not agreed on an issue and we have agreed to go to the court of law. We have two cases. The case that involves FIFA is before the Court of Arbitration in Sport in Switzerland. And the case that involves we Nigerians is the case that is before the Federal High Court in Jos. It has nothing to do with the rules of the game.
You see, you cannot be president of people who are not following you. So it is clear that we have the followership not only of the delegates, but of Nigerians.
Already, the Chris Giwa-led board has resumed at the Glass House and recalled coach Stephen Keshi to handle the Super Eagles' remaining AFCON qualifiers. However, the message from the Ministry of Sports is simple. All aggrieved parties must sheath their swords.
This is the time when every sports lover in Nigeria, every citizen indeed, should do everything possible to make sure that there is unity, there is peace in the football family and generally in the sports family.
The World Football Governing Body is reported to have given Nigeria an ultimatum to return to status quo or face a lengthy ban that will not be reviewed until its Congress meets in May next year. To the English Premier League, an injury time leveller from Robin van Persie handed Manchester United a 1-1 draw against leaders Chelsea. Didier Drogba's header had given Jose Mourinho's men the lead in one of Sunday's EPL games, but Branislav Ivanovic was sent off late on. The league leaders dropped points for just the second time this season when the Dutchman rammed in after Marwan Fellaini's header was saved by Chelsea goalkeeper Prt4. Chelsea are now 4 points clear of second place to Southampton. Meanwhile, it was sweet revenge for Serena Williams today at the WTA finals in Singapore. A world number one showed that her group stage loss to Simona Halep was a fluke as she thrashed the Romanian 6-3, 6-love to win her third successive title at the elite event and fifth overall. Halep, who easily beat Williams 4 days ago, won just 7 points in the entire second set, which lasted less than 30 minutes, while the American won 11 of the last 12 games. She now joins Martina Navratilova and Steffi Graf as the only players to have won 5 titles in the season-ending championships. Elsewhere, home favourite Roger Federer barely broke sweat as he beat David Groffing 6-2, 6-2 to win the Basel Indoor title for the 6th time. The Swiss maestro earlier today needed only 51 minutes to claim the title and fuel his late charge to end the year as world #1. Federer is now only 500 points behind Novak Djokovic in the ATP rankings, with a combined 2,500 points available at the Paris Masters and ATP World Tour finals in London. Away from sports news, the European Banking Authority has announced 24 banks that failed stress tests of their finances and now have 9 months to shore up their finances or be shut down. On the list are 10 banks that have taken measures to bolster their balance sheets and 14 banks in the Eurozone. The worst affected was Italian bank Monte dei Paschi, which had a capital shortfall of €2.1 billion. 4 UK banks were subjected to the EBA tests: the Royal Bank of Scotland, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group and Barclays. None of them failed the test, but Lloyds passed narrowly with capital under adverse scenarios of 6.2%, not far from the 5.5% benchmark. Well, the British government has finally handed over control of its last base in Afghanistan to the Afghan security forces. During the handover, the UK Defence Secretary Michael Fallon said mistakes were made, but that British troops had achieved much since they arrived in 2001. British and US soldiers have been in the country since then. However, the last US Marines unit in Afghanistan ended its combat operations with the handover of Camp Leatherneck. The number of British soldiers that have died in the conflicts in the country is 453, while the US has lost 2,349 military personnel in Afghanistan. Mr. Fallon says the UK will continue to support the Afghan National Army Officers Academy with institutional development. And the main news again. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has criticized the All Progressives Congress, the APC, for allegedly promoting a Muslim presidential ticket for 2015. Chief Obasanjo, who was reacting to APC presidential hopeful General Muhammadu Buhari's alleged choice of running mate, described the move as insensitive. And 24 European banks have failed stress tests of their finances and may be shut down after 9 months. And that's the news at 10 tonight. But just before we go, this is to inform our viewers that we will be shutting down our international stream for routine maintenance for just a few hours. However, you can still watch us on our website, m.channelstv.com. Again, right after the news, we'll be shutting down our international stream for routine maintenance. We do urge you to bear with us. We'll be back as soon as we can. But you can watch us on our website, m.channelstv.com. Thanks for watching the news at 10. I am Amarachi Ubani. Have a great night and a great week ahead.